Hello everyone. Today we are going to do poem 7 Animals of class 10th English First Flight. The poem Animals has been written by Walt Whitman. In this poem, Whitman compares man to animals. According to him, animals are far better than human beings. They have many virtues which are lacking in men. They never grumble over their condition. They are not mad for material things. They always remain satisfied. They don't commit any sins, so they don't have to weep over them. People talk about their duty to God but forget about their duty to God's beings. But animals don't worry about their duty to God. Unlike human beings, animals are not at all hypocritical or fake. Let us now understand the entire poem stanza-wise. Stanza 1. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. No one is dissatisfied. No one is demented with the mania of owning things. No one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. In this stanza, the poet sees that human beings suffer from many faults. They lack many virtues. The poet doesn't find their company enjoyable. Then he looks at animals. He sees that animals have many virtues that men lack so badly. He sees that animals remain calm and quiet. Animals are self-contained and don't depend on the company of others. These qualities of animals fill the poet with wonder. He stands near them and keeps looking at them for a long time. Comparing animals with human beings, the poet says that animals don't remain in a state of anxiety. They don't grumble over their condition. They don't spend their nights lying awake. They don't have to weep over their sins in the dark. Animals don't commit any sins, so they don't have to weep in the dark. They don't have to lie awake at night. Usually, people keep talking about their duty to God, but they forget all about their duty to God's beings. Such a talk makes the poet sick. He says that animals don't indulge in such hypocritical talk. Continuing with the comparison between animals and men, Whitman says that not even a single animal is dissatisfied with its condition. On the contrary, every man remains forever dissatisfied and unhappy. There is not a single animal that is mad with the mania of owning things, but every man is mad in the race of possessing material things. No animal has to kneel or bow to another. No one has to kneel before those of their kind who had lived thousands of years ago. Moving on to next stanza, stanza 2. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself, they evince them plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? In this stanza, the poet says there is no animal who is sad or unhappy over the whole earth. No one is regretful because they have not committed any wrong or sin. The poet sees that animals have the same qualities that he has. Like him, they too look happy, calm, and contented. There is much in the poet that corresponds with the nature of animals. He says that he had perhaps passed that way a long time back and dropped some of his tokens. The animals picked up those tokens and kept them in their possession. The poet means to say that he shares with animals their simplicity, innocence, and contentment. Let's have a look at the literary devices used in the poem. First is repetition. Repetition of words, phrases in the poem is called repetition. For example, I stand and look at them long and long. Long and long are repeated, that is why it's repetition. Next is they do not. They do not sweat and whine. They do not lie awake. They do not make me sick. Another example of repetition is not one is dissatisfied. Not one is demented with. Not one kneels to another. Not one is regretful. Next poetic device used is alliteration. It is the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of words in the same line. For example, I wonder where they get those tokens. Next figure of speech used is personification. It is a figure of speech wherein non-living things are assigned humanity qualities. Almost every line has personification in the poem. For example, they do not sweat and whine, they do not lie awake, they are so placid and self-contained. Kindly refer to the important questions of this poem in my next video. Thank you for watching and stay blessed.